Let's go. Saturday, first playoff game, Cavaliers versus Toronto Raptors. Cavs in 5. Let's get it, baby.
Realistic.
Holy shit.
Yeah, but hey, finally, guys. First off, good evening to everyone. We finally got a little bit something to distract us from all the shit show going on in the world. Man, shout out to the 1-in-1 sports show, Paul Bennett and the crew, man. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to BMU. Shout out to Mr. Payne. Shout out to everybody on the network, man. Shout out to the NBA, and the NBA playoffs are finally starting. But guys, we have a lot to get into today. Unfortunately, every single week, I think I'm going to be saying the same thing, guys. We got a lot to get into today. There's so much crap happening, but you guys know that I like to harp on this specific thing. And BMU, I am bringing the video up now.
Now this is a sight that wasn't on our bingo card. A humanoid robot named Edward Varhaki was spotted playfully chasing a herd of wild boars. The unusual incident took place in Warsaw, Poland. The robot was cheered on while terrorizing the mammals as they scuttled away into a forest. It's definitely an unusual but effective way to control the invasive species. Boars are both fast and smart animals. They can run up to 30 miles per hour and
All right. That's already enough. That done pissed me off already. Guys, I keep telling y'all that the AI is coming. AI is coming. For those of you guys a little bit confused of what you just saw, this is a video in Poland. One of those robot prototypes is now tasked with getting rid of those wild hogs. For those of you who don't know, in Western Europe and Eastern Europe specifically, wild hogs are probably more dangerous than the wolves out there. That's how big they are. You guys, Great Danes, the bull mastiffs, all of those sort of dogs were bred specifically to take out those sort of wild hogs. But to get them out that area, guys, guess what? We got robots doing that. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, like I saw that robot running. I wanted to put a Cleveland Cavaliers or Cleveland Browns fitted on it, maybe some Timberland boots, everything like that. Like I put a chain on it. That shit would be really cool if it wasn't coming for our jobs. Guys, have y'all seen the economic numbers? The stock market, the wealthy, Wall Street, they don't look like they give a shit about the job loss. Oh yeah, that's right, because they're the ones firing us. They're the Planeteers, all of these AI data centers going up and everything like that. They are absolutely trying to come for our jobs. Hey, Trey, shout out to you, bro. I'm glad you're up here because sometimes you be bootlicking with the best of them. Good evening. Anyway, yeah, so guys, they're coming for your jobs. Think about it. They're going to use these robots, guess what, to clear them out. Guys, in this country specifically, we're going to use the robots for the most cruel shit imaginable. You already know there's some corporate douchebag who saw this video, because this video is a little bit old. There's already a corporate douchebag who went, you know what? Maybe we could use this to kick out homeless people out on the parks and everything like that, on the streets. You know what I mean? We can't even be bothered to use that with a human and everything like that. Yeah, shout out to you, Trey, whining and crying about somebody whining and crying. Like you're doing a real good job, bro. I'm gonna start calling you Trump. Like everything with you is a projection, bro. You know what I mean? Like that's just funny. Oh, but speaking of that, to get into a lot of the crap we're talking about, guys, let me read to you, not the liberal media, not the mainstream biased media sources. This is Donald Trump straight from the horse's mouth. And I'm going to pull it up, BMU. I'm just going to share the screen just so everybody could read along with me. This is Donald J. Trump. I know why Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, and Alex Jones have all been fighting me for years, especially by the fact that they think it's wonderful for Iran, the #1 state sponsor of terror, to have a nuclear weapon, because they have one thing in common: low IQs. They're stupid people, and they know it. Their families know it, and everyone else knows it. Oh, everyone else knows it too. Look at their past. Look at their record. They don't have what it takes, and they never did. They've all been thrown off television, lost their shows, and aren't even invited on TV because nobody cares about them. They're nut jobs, troublemakers, and will say anything necessary for some free and cheap publicity. Now they think they get some clicks because they have third-rate podcasts, but nobody's talking about them, and their views are opposite of MAGA, or I wouldn't have won the presidential election in a landslide. MAGA agrees with me and just gave CNN a 100% approval rating of Trump, not hand-flailing fools like Tucker Carlson, who couldn't even finish college. He was a broken man when he got fired from Fox, and he never been the same. Perhaps he should see a good psychiatrist, or Megyn Kelly, who nastily asked me the now famous only Rosie O'Donnell question, or crazy Candace Owens, who accuses the highly respected First Lady of France of being a man when she is not, and will hopefully win lots of money in the ongoing lawsuit. Before I continue, guys, that whole thing with Candace accused, it's wrong, but that shit was funny as hell. I hope she, I hope she loses all that shit. But that whole situation is funny, man. Actually, to me, the First Lady of France is far more beautiful woman than Candace. In fact, it's not even close. Or bankrupt Alex Jones, who said some of the dumbest things and lost his entire fortune, as he should have, for his horrendous attack on families of the Sandy Hook shooting victims, ridiculously claiming it was a hoax. These so-called pundits are losers, and they always will be. Now, fake news CNN, the failing New York Times, and all of the other radical left news organizations are hailing them and giving them positive press for the first time in their lives. They're not MAGA. They're losers, just trying to latch on to MAGA. As president, I could get them on my side anytime I want to, but when they call, I don't return their calls because I'm too busy on world and country affairs. And after a few times, they go nasty, just like Marjorie Trader Brown. But I no longer care about that stuff. I only care about doing right for our country. MAGA is winning in strength in not allowing Iran to have nuclear weapons. MAGA is about making America great again. And these people have no idea how to do that, but I do, because the United States is now the hottest country anywhere in the world. President Donald J. Trump. Guys, I am never going to forgive you Trump supporters for putting this stupid ass clown in the office. Because right after this, he's been tweeting, he tweeted a AI image of him basically being God or Jesus. Straight up lied about it when asked by a reporter. He said, "Oh, I thought it was an image of me and a doctor." You could see the smirk on his face, knowing he's bullshitting. And then right after that, guys, did you see what he posted today? That another AI image with Jesus putting his hand on his shoulder because, you know what I mean? And by the way, this is why, guys, everybody laughs at Trey no matter where he goes, because Donald Trump literally on live TV admitted that he's the one who posted that image of him as Jesus healing the person in the thing. You see what I mean? Like, Donald Trump will admit the things, and then his dumbass supporters will be like, nuh-uh, he ain't say that shit. Like, that's how you know it's a cult. This is how you know it's a cult. When Donald Trump will be like, yeah, I did it. And he's still like, and Trey's like, nah, he ain't do it. Like, this is ridiculous. Prince Anton's in the game. Hey, shout out to you, man. Good to see you. Game Changer 5450. It's really funny how all of them were great people until they disagreed with them. Game Changer. We ain't just talking about any old MAGA people. We are talking about the 4 horsemen of MAGA. Candace Owens, Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, Alex Jones. Y'all understand that if these 4 didn't exist, Donald Trump as president wouldn't exist. Right? Guys, y'all remember Donald Trump called Megyn Kelly a nasty woman, and she licked his boots anyway for the last 10 years. You know what I mean? Alex Jones has lost everything, threatened to was close to being freaking going to jail. Tucker Carlson been rocking with him and Megyn Kelly been rocking with Trump since they was still on Fox News. Anissa, shout out to you. Good to see you again. It's what he does. Everybody, as soon as you disagree with him, he trashes you. Yeah. Yep. Everybody's the greatest ever until one. Anissa, did you see what he said to Riley Gaines? Is that her name? Riley or Lincoln? That's swimmer. The one that the right wingers and the Trump supporters threw this big ass hissy fit over because she came in 5th place, and the transgendered athlete came in 4th place. Right? Like, none of the MAGA hatters cared about the 3 other women that whooped their asses. They only cared about the 4th place athlete and the one that came in 5th. Yeah, he's even trashing her now, Anissa. Simply because she was like, hey, I still support you, Donald Trump, but you need to show some humility when it comes to tweeting yourself like images. And nope, one little thing, completely disowned. You know what I mean? Let's see. Brian, shout out to you. Every Trump supporter is a racist Nazi and they support a pedophile president. I have to halfway disagree. They definitely supporting a pedophile president right now. Let's not forget, Brian, amongst everything else going on, he is actively covering up the sex trafficking of minors by other pedophiles on top of all the other crap. But not every Trump supporter is a racist and a Nazi. You got some dumbass minorities who drank the Kool-Aid too for whatever reason, bro. Trey, again, if you're stupid enough to believe he runs his own social media, you're an idiot. First and foremost, bro, if you're gonna call somebody idiot, can you please use correct grammar and correct pronunciation? Like, come on, like, this is basic, bro. This is basic. When you try to insult, never mind just normally insulting someone, but if you're trying to insult intelligence specifically, you have to make sure your chat is up to par, bro. Or you're just proving that, once again, you're a low IQ MAGA supporter, right? But we all know this, guys, because Donald Trump can shoot somebody in the middle of 5th Ave, and we know Trey will still support him. You know what I mean? Dirty Dan 1791. The entire system has failed us. Agreed. Anissa, we actually just go by all the stupid stuff that comes out of his mouth when he talks for himself. And it's crazy, right? It's like, remember, everybody, all MAGA said, Donald Trump, he's not a politician. He tells it like it is. And yet, everybody's got to translate what the straight shooter is trying to say. Doesn't really line up like that. You know what I mean? Brian Hill again. I refuse to watch any of the right-wing frauds, and I never have or will. I stopped watching right-wing mainstream Russian propaganda after Fox lied about weapons of mass destruction. Brian, I don't blame you one bit. I got plenty of time, Brian. If you don't know, I am a 100% combat PTSD veteran. I got nothing but time to look this shit up and yap about it. So just leave it up to me, big dog. I got you, man. And I like going behind enemy lines. I like looking up what the right wing is saying because I got to put all the information together, right? I got to get the full story. Plus, you got to know how to debate these clowns and know how to run circles around them, which isn't really that hard. Fuck off. I'm just gonna call you Cough, bro. Bro, he's a billionaire. He gives a fuck about. Hey, bro, I agree with you, which is probably why we shouldn't be electing billionaires into government office. Like, if we know a guy only cares about money and he's a billionaire and he only cares about enriching his friends, we shouldn't enable that. If we say, oh yeah, that's bad, but then we vote for him anyway, then we deserve this gilded age. We deserve the current gilded age because we're constantly voting against our own interests. But that's been the last 40, 50 years, man. You know, somehow these corporations who keep firing us and sending jobs overseas, they really care about the little guy. You know what I mean? How many comparisons with Hitler do you have to see before you get it? Brian, the reason why I push back is because Trump's not competent enough to be Hitler. He's competent enough to be Mussolini. And if you know your history, you know how dysfunctional Italy was even before the war. Right? And so I agree with there's aspects of fascism, Brian, that I absolutely rock with you with. But we got to also make sure we use more current examples, not just always back in World War II. Because unfortunately, when we're debating these guys, a lot of the times you use these sort of buzzwords, Brian, and the people just kind of tune their ear out. You know what I mean? And I want people to hear what I'm saying when I'm trashing them. Prince Anton Tarus, you got to forgive Trey. He's in yeah, I know he's Air Force, man. You know, them baby ass dudes, they be whining about their apple pies and their maids not cleaning out their rooms and they barracks on time and shit like that. You know, them old frat boys in the Air Force. We don't pay attention to them babies, bro. Anissa says, I have never seen anything like these Trump supporters, mind-boggling. Anissa, what's crazy is that when I talk to Trump supporters, I think you've seen it, but when I talk to Trump supporters and we just talk about policy, they be agreeing with damn near everything. Like, you see how many MAGA hatters are now on for like universal health care and this sort of shit. But you know why they'll never vote for that? Because it sounds like Marxist socialism, even though they want it, but they just can't be bothered. And Lisa, think about how many people, no matter what, they'll say they'll never vote for the other side. They'll never vote Democrat. Why? Why? You know what I mean? Just ask yourself, if you're willing to cut off a whole different party, because I'm not, I've certainly voted Republican quite a select few of times, mostly in state elections. But not all the time, and not at the federal government. And guess what, guys? You don't have to be stuck voting for either party. You can vote for whoever the fuck you want or write them in. Let's see. I don't even know who Trey's talking about that last one. It's time for debate is over in my eyes. Dirty Dan 1791. Bro, again, I know how you guys feel, man. But hey, look, guys, to a fault, even though I constantly get disappointed from my fellow Americans, to the fault, man, I'm going to constantly believe that we can do better and hope we could fucking turn around, because honestly, I have to. I ain't got a choice, man. So as tough it is sometimes, bro, I have to keep pushing. I don't know what else to do. You know what I mean? Show me a politician that has had a lower net worth after their term in office. Okay, show me a politician who did a crypto rug pull right before they entered office. Show me a politician whose wife did a crypto rug pull while they were in office. Show me a president whose son is a major owner of a drone company that we signed a contract to that is sending weapons over to Iran. Right? Like y'all see guys, oh my God. This is MAGA, guys. Instead of being able to critique or defend just that, them or their politicians, it's always, well, what about this? Or what about that? Or we get the, well, both sides suck. Nah, don't you miss me with this both sides shit. You know what I mean? It's always both sides when your side is screwing it up. Let's see. Trump also says smart people don't like him. Yeah, Anissa, look at the comment right above you. Trey's a perfect example of that. Well, good thing that most Trump supporters won't have any health care. Anissa, do you see the amount of rural hospitals that are closing down right now? Wifey's a travel nurse, and we live around the city of Cleveland, Anissa, and it's getting packed. And you know, nursing in the medical professional period has already been historically understaffed, but now you got a flood of patients from the rural area coming into the city to seek care because a lot of their hospitals and a lot of the departments are shutting down. So it's causing even more overcrowded, like a lack of supplies. It's bad, and it's only getting worse. You know what I mean? But hey, Anissa, they're cool with that as long as the people they don't like is also suffering. At least they think they are. You know what I mean? Brian, every time a Trump doesn't like a strong black woman, he calls her a low IQ person. He's such a racist cunt. Agreed. 100% agreed. Like, and it's a pattern, right? Black women, she's low IQ. If it's a pretty white woman, you know, then it's just a whole bunch of nasty shit. You know what I mean? Hey, Trey, you cannot be like F socialism and Marxism when we're actively giving out these wealthy people are actively getting socialist handouts and subsidies. Like, did you guys see? Oh, I'm Trey, you are Trey, I'm really glad your MAGA hadn't ass is up here. I can't wait for my Google Chrome to respond. Where is that? Because your guy is now throwing a hissy fit over something that was supposed to be, again, paid for. The ballroom was supposed to be paid for by private funds. And now Trump is invoking national security risk to get the taxpayers to fund the fucking ballroom. After, again, he said the wealthy were going to pay for it, and now we got to pay for it. Like, bro, you just be defending anything. Zippo says he hung out with niggas before he was president. Okay, bro, but guess what? When you're a private person, Zippo, you can do whatever the hell you want. It's a different standard when you're an elected official. I don't understand why you guys don't understand that. I don't want my elected official still acting like he's a private citizen. The point of him being president was to act presidential, was to be a professional, and he hasn't. Brian Hill, is this about? No, he's unfortunately he's real. You're eating off veteran benefits, off BS, PTSD. That's why I'm sure gay. Bro, you're doing the same thing too, which by the way is socialism. Like the benefits we get taxpayer funded as socialism. You know what I mean? Like this is fucking crazy. Alex Granderson, nobody cares, bro. The ballroom, Trump cares about it. Like, this is what's crazy. No one cares about the ballroom except Trump, who's throwing a hissy fit about it. Nobody cares about the arc Trump is trying to put up in DC except Trump, who's throwing hissy fits about it and wants the taxpayers to foot the bill. Nobody cares about Trump trying to put his face all over the place except Trump himself trying to put his name on the airport, trying to put his name on everything. So like, this is so crazy because nobody cares except the guy you fucking voted for. Not like, no, I'm not gonna chill. I'm not gonna chill because what you just said was fucking stupid. Nobody cares. Like guys, we are at a point where you guys are basically saying we shouldn't take the president of the United States seriously. Oh, the president of the United States, he's just trolling. Really good. Like think of Zippo. I want you to think about that. If Obama was trolling, what do you think the Republicans and the rest of America would be saying? But somehow the standard's different when we're talking about Trump. For whatever reason, the standard is completely different when we're talking about him. Alexander Granderson, you cry about Trump all day, but think about this. Why did you lose to him? Because the country's a bunch of fucking morons. And now you're seeing Alexander Granderson. A lot of the people that voted for Trump are now regretting it. I don't know if you haven't noticed. And Alexander Granderson, our roads are getting shittier by the day. We are losing healthcare access. We're losing our jobs to AI. We're $40 trillion in debt. We have a bunch of soldiers with injuries, unfortunately 13 dead, and we got a whole bunch of civilians dead over a war that should have never happened. So you damn right, Alexander, I'm gonna cry about Trump because this country is falling apart under his fucking watch. I'm not gonna apologize for caring a hell of a lot more than you do, bro. I get it, bro. Hey, everything must be good for you, and that's great. But for the rest of my country, man, it's a shit show, and I'm gonna yap about it no matter how much you cry about it. You know what I mean? Let's see who we got. We got Trey again. Bro, Trey, respectfully, you said you wasn't going to come up here and watch, and yet all you've done is stay up here and watch. Again, is this another sign of Trump supporters not being able to practice what they preach? This is why I don't take conservatives seriously, because you guys don't take yourselves seriously. Like, Trey, you said you was going to bolt, but I know you're going to stick around, buddy, so I appreciate that. You know what I mean? Alexander, fix your own house first if you want votes, buddy. I'm not a politician. And by the way, bro, Trump said no new wars. Kamala Harris told you Iran, he was going to start a war in Iran. I voted for the person that was going to fix the house. You voted for the moron destroying it. We are not the same, Alexander. Zippo, we need to admit our mistake. I do. I fucked up, but I didn't vote, but I influenced the shitload. Zippo, oh my God, bro. See now, oh shit. You just as bad as Colin Kaepernick, bro. You do all this fucking whine. Zippo, you probably do all this whining about politics, right? You probably do all this whining about elected officials, and yet when it's time for you to actually put your money where your mouth is, to practice your constitutional rights, you sat the fuck at home. Like Zippo, do you understand? Like let's put this in sports terms. Let's say you're one of the team play. You're one of the players on the basketball team. Coach calls a play, and guess what, Zippo? Because the play's not going to you for you to shoot the game winner or attempt the game winner, you take yourself off the court onto the bench because you don't like the play being called. Well, guess what, bro? If somebody wins, you're going to be salty on the bench because you wasn't part of it. But if your teammate doesn't hit the shot, you get to be like, see, I told y'all that was a bad thing. Like, bro, y'all got to fucking step this up, man. Don't vote, don't complain, because when you don't vote, that is a vote for the other side, because everybody who disagrees with you, Zippo, they made sure to go vote. And guess what? They got their fucking person. Well, guess what, Zippo? Trump is your guy too. So even though you didn't vote, you did all this supporting for him. Bro, I'm just as pissed off as you, if not even more pissed off, because you didn't even bother practicing your constitutional rights. And so, Zippo, respectfully, until 2028, you and everybody else who's MAGA, I don't want to hear shit about constitutional rights because you don't fucking care about it. You know what I mean? Like, not like I get it, Zippo. You're in a minute, but you got to get it. And don't take this, hey man, don't take this super personal, because this is aimed at all you guys. This is aimed at all you guys. Because Zippo, you watched Elon Musk dancing on stage like a jackass, talking about they was going to be cutting all these Doge and all this other shit. I guarantee you, all you conservatives have whined about political families like the Clintons. Oh, we're tired of the Clintons. We're tired of the Cheneys. We're tired of the Bushes. And then you turned around and made Trump the Trump family royalty. Right? You guys claimed that you hate all these big city elites. Right? Y'all remember that, guys? Oh, we're tired of all these big city elites. They're out of touch. They don't know what it's like for middle America. And then so you vote for a silver-spooned big city guy like Donald Trump, who ain't never stepped foot in any of these rural-ass towns prior to running an election. You guys said you love the country and you love the military and all this. So you voted for a multiple-time draft dodger who stole funds from veteran organizations. I don't take you MAGA hatters seriously because you guys don't take your fucking selves seriously. And Alexander, you're once again showing how freaking dumb you are, because actually, like, pull this up, guys. BMU, pull his last one. Actually, I was busy at work. 2024 was the easiest time in American history for us to vote. Polls were open as early as 2-3 weeks ahead of the election day. And so the fact that you said you ain't had time, you are so full of shit, bro. So many different ways for you to vote and you didn't have time? Fuck that. And fuck that excuse, bro. That's some horseshit. I can't believe you actually posted that, bro. Zippo, I can't vote because I'm a felon. Hey, bro, hey, you know what? This part, I get it. But you know what's crazy? Us liberals, us lefties, and some of the Democrats, not all, we actually support things that once you pay your, you served your time to society. You paid, I'm assuming, your restitution or however it is you called, you did your time. You should have your constitutional rights restored, at least the right to vote. But you know who doesn't really believe in those sort of things? The person in the party you was caping for. So I really need you to learn your lesson, bro. I really need you guys to learn your lesson. How many girls got to be real quick? Hey, BMU, I know some of these words are a little bit dicey, but I looked up the terms. As long as we're talking about it respectfully, we're grown people, so I'm going to go ahead and read this out loud. How many girls got to be raped in prison by trannies before the Democrats regain some sense of? I don't know. I don't know. Anderson, how many little girls got to be trafficked at the under the Epstein list before you take that seriously? Like, we could go tit for tat all day. Right now, whether you want to admit it or not, Donald Trump is in charge of the country right now. And right now, he is covering up the sex trafficking of minors by other pedophiles. I don't want to hear it from you, bro. Oh, we got a $10 super chat. The lunatic libertarian, not MAGA. Don't talk to me about the Constitution. Left, right. You could kiss Me grits veteran here. All systems failed. Prove me wrong, guys. Shout out you. Wow. Only a libertarian. I forgot. Libertarians, guys, are the only ones who can make me tolerate MAGA, because there is no demographic that is a bigger group of fucking fence riders and flip-floppers than libertarians. You guys don't stand for shit. What do you guys do? Seriously, what do you guys do? You guys really are. You just whine about everything, right? You got, guys, you got these different wings of libertarians, right, who think everything should be privatized. Everything in a mama should, everything should be privatized, as if these corporations have proven that they're gonna do right by us. And see, that's the thing. Even as a lefty, I'm distrustful of both the government and corporations, but at least I know we can vote people in government out. I can't do shit about people on the corporate board. But these fucking Aaron Rand fucking Atlas Shrugged libertarians, bro, they be let me stop. Let me stop. Woo, God, y'all fence riders. Let me go up here. Hey, shout out to you, bro. Thanks for the $10. Keep shout out to you. Let's see. Democrats hate America and worship Satan. It's that simple. Mike, we are currently being told what to do by a country who doesn't believe that Jesus is the Son of God. Shut up. Shut up. Okay? Brian Hill, I didn't expect Bible Belt, inbred, uneducated KKK warmonger, neocon, clowns worshiping an NY City pedophile to be Americans' downfall. I didn't expect it either, but again, we should have, Brian, because you know what? Conservatives are massive hypocrites. You know what I mean? They are, again, they have no standard. You see what I mean? Like for example, there are a bunch of part-time Christians. They're only Christians, Brian, when it's convenient, right? When it's about the gay people or trans people, right? But everything else, well, now it's just more of a suggestion. Mike says, you are a typical idiot liberal and you're a typical MAGA retard. All right, so I guess we all got problems. Trey says, BMU, if TMU Tarus actually answered questions, I would debate him. Trey, every time you've hopped on the panel with me and we've gone back and forth, I have absolutely wrecked you every single time. And if you hopped up here again, I will wreck you again because you don't have an argument. And by the way, I need you right now, right? As a matter of fact, Trey, come up here and right now and tell me why you support the cover-up of the sex trafficking of minors. Please tell everybody, show your face and come up here and tell everybody why you support a guy covering up the sex trafficking of minors. It should be easy. Guys, it should be real easy to come up here and defend why Trump is covering up the Epstein files. It should be real easy to come up here and defend the crypto rug pulls. It should be real easy to come up here and defend the illegal Iran war. And yet, nobody clicked the link. You know what I mean? Nobody clicked the link. And so, BMU, make sure you drop the link. And so, yeah, guys, I absolutely hate Trump. You know why I hate Trump, Anderson? Like I just said, because he's covering up the sex trafficking of minors by pedophiles. You know why I hate Trump? Because he started an illegal war that got a bunch of people killed for no reason. You want to know why I hate Trump? Because he started another global trade war that we're losing, making all of us pay this tariff, the increase in tariffs that the Supreme Court already ruled illegal. Anderson, I have plenty of reasons to hate Donald Trump. Plenty. My G, Trump is a moron. So is Harris. Come with it, my G. Trump is a moron, but most of you the libertarians that showed up to the polls, bro, they swung for Trump. So, like, I don't think Kamala's an idiot. But if you think freaking Trump's an idiot, but you voted for him anyway, that says a lot about you, bro. That says a lot about you. If you think they idiot, but you voted for him anyway, I mean, what do you want me to do about that? Armageddon 666 says, yo, shout out to you. Ask them if they believe at all in the Constitution. You know they don't, because the DOJ, did I bring that up? Yep. BMU, I am going to hold up. Stop. I want to read this one real quick. Let's talk about how much we could talk about the Republicans and how fake their whole law and order crap is. The Justice Department moves to dismiss Proud Boys and Oath Keepers' seditious conspiracy convictions. The Justice Department moved to dismiss the sedition conspiracy convictions of Proud Boy and Oath Keeper members Tuesday, undoing one of the Biden administration's most celebrated victories against those who said it inspired the January 6, 2021 attack on American democracy. If a judge approves the dismissals, it would erase the most serious convictions from the sprawling investigation of U.S. Capitol riot, one of the largest federal investigations in U.S. history. Oh, yeah. Hey, guys, shout out to MAGA. We all know Pam Bondi is not the one who followed this, right? Because she's not there anymore. Oh, wait. Why is she not there anymore, conservatives? MAGA had us. That's right. Because under a hearing talking about child sex trafficking, the Dow's at 50K. That's what you conservatives care about. You don't care about shit else except money. The only thing you guys worship is the almighty dollar. That's all you guys care about. Anything is A-okay as long as your bank account looks okay. And so, yeah, my tolerance level for you MAGA and conservatives are the all-time low, because, well, you guys deserve it. You guys deserve all the hate you're getting, right? I really hope you guys turn it around and vote in the midterms. But guys, I'm really pissed off at you guys. I hope you know that. And some of you guys clearly care, because you up here in the chat. And look, guys, hey, whether you're a Trump supporter or not, y'all gonna rock with me regardless, man. I love it. Prince Anton with the $10 says, keep doing what you're doing, Tyrus. Continue to call out these red cap wearing MAGA lights. Absolutely. Shout out to you, Anton. Thanks for always rocking with me too, man. You know I'm gonna keep my foot on these dudes' necks. You know what I mean? Let's see who else got man, y'all been sending some. Ooh. Let's see. Paul, shout out to Paul Bennett. Salute, Tyrus. Let's see. Dono64. Democrats can't tell you what a woman is. Dono, what's a man? Can't figure out which bathroom to use. Which bathroom do you use? Have purple hair and cow rings for those nose rings. The liberal dude's still trying to fuck. But you're knocking us. Get us the fuck out of here. I'm absolutely knocking you, because all the report says you whine about all these liberal women in the nose ring. And guess what you conservative dudes won't stop doing? Trying to marry liberal women. Because the conservative women y'all not into. How many different times do you see these women are writing the article?
Hey, mute your mic, Libertarian. Mute your mic until you speak.
I'll introduce you real quick. How many articles, how many different reports, how many different videos do we got to see of these conservative dudes chasing liberal women, talking about, well, these conservative women just ain't freaking, they're not interesting. You know what I mean? So let's see. Dono says, you're not taking any money doing this podcast? No, bro. Like, shout out to BMU, because I'm hosting on this joint. But Dono, I got 67 followers now on my main page, dog. I'm moving up. Hey, Lunatic Libertarian, nice to meet you, bro. How you doing?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you good.
All right. I had to cancel out the other tab that I had open. There's a lot of background noise, and I was trying to figure out where it was coming from. I apologize.
How you doing tonight, bro?
Well, it's another day in paradise, man. It's crimson clovers, rainbows, and unicorns. We got division on all sides. You know what I'm saying? When you were saying libertarians are on the fence about stuff, it kind of struck me kind of weird because um, jury nullification is something libertarians talk about. Voting is something libertarians talk about. Understanding the third party, some libertarians talk about. I'm trying to understand where we're all on the fence on something. You know what I'm saying? As far as being like a veteran from 2001 and understanding that not only am I a veteran, but I had a PTSD counselor that was killed during the 2009 attack in Fort Hood, which is,
The
when
Muslim
Democrats talk about mass shootings, this is on a military installation by so-called experts of mental health. And if anybody doesn't remember Hassan, go look that up. And if anybody wants to discredit me, you can go to the va.gov website. Go look me up. It's Jay Lomness. And go look up the article from the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. Like
Yeah,
I'm not.
you talk about the Muslim Arab dude that did the mass shooting at the hospital. Yeah, nobody.
Oh, well, it was at it was actually at Fort Hood, where it was not at the hospital. It was
Oh,
actually when they were getting their arms
okay,
for deployment. They were getting their arms from the armory during deployment.
okay.
They
I
were
thought it
all
was
getting ready.
on base, but okay, but it was on base.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
Fort Hood, 2009, November.
Yeah.
Captain Russell Seeger was my PTSD counselor. So if you go look up Captain Russell Seeger, you go see a picture of him. Go to the va.gov. I'm not talking nonsense. Go look it up. So when it comes to the perspective that I feel about Iran, Trump's a moron. As a libertarian, we don't talk about going to war. We talk about production. We talk about self-sustainability. We talk about self-responsibility. Um, I think that's lost on the nuance of society when we've subcontracted our responsibilities to ourselves, to our children, our offspring. We give our children to the government to educate them. Are they educated? That's a centralized system that's failed. I'm launching a whole new deal on my YouTube channel, and
Real quick, plug your YouTube channel, bro. Plug like what's the name?
It's called the Lunatic Libertarian. I'm gonna be interviewing next month a Democratic Socialist that's running for the Wisconsin State Governor's office. Her last name is Hong, and go check out Francesca. She's already a representative in the state legislature. So I'm not. I'm an anarchist. I chose the libertarian aspect because it's more fitting in politics. But yet again, people don't understand the anarchists of the French Revolution. They don't understand anarchists of any other timeline that's projected to them. So yet again, I'm a U.S. Navy veteran. My name's Justin. I am a lunatic libertarian, but I wear all the tattoos of my convictions. There is the actual Liberty Torch. There's the American Eagle with the dog tags and the POWMIA. So when people talk to me about what human life really actually is valued at, I come from the streets of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'm not talking to people about their experiences, about the nuances that they see on the internet. Like, I talk about real life. I'm 43 years old. I'm not a young dude. So when it comes to when I experienced the United States, we was talking about Bush Jr. '01 is when I joined, December '01. So I ain't with all this propaganda and all this programming. I reject all programming, and I'll tell everybody about it.
Yeah,
I'm a master diesel technician.
Libertarian, respectfully, that's fine. But as a collective, and that's what I was talking about. You libertarian,
there ain't no collective.
You guys have been absolutely fence riders. You don't know if you want to go with Bobby Massey or
there's no.
You don't know if you really like Rand Paul or you go with Trump. You know what I mean? Like by the way,
man.
I'm going to test your libertarian thing. Do you support, or I'm not going to say support because I'm not a fan of damaging property. But to challenge your libertarian. Do you understand the people that have been burning down the warehouses the last few days? I believe we're up to like 7 or 8 now. You've been
Yeah,
up?
and they're all insured, right?
Oh, so I hope. Well, we can assume they're issued, right? They're a major corporation.
Well, I think the first warehouse of the paper manufacturer was not adequately insured, and their actual paperwork actually came through that they were not adequately insured, and that's Kimberly Clark. Go look it up. So
That's
go look it up.
real quick, Libertarian. That would be a violation, right?
Yeah, conformance to a system. Yeah, you're in violation, but they're corporatists, so supposedly it doesn't apply. Supposedly we need to start GoFundMe's to make sure everybody get paid, right? What happened to those insurance payouts, the security systems that are supposed to be entranced in our systems? They don't exist. They're all illusions. This is all a facade. I'm an anarchist because I believe that self-productivity and security comes from the individual. That's libertarian. Am I not correct there?
You are correct, but unfortunately, the libertarians believe everything should be privatized. You see in Texas, for example, right? As you already know, libertarian, our oil infrastructure is privatized, which is one of the reasons we can't we can't process our own oil. Right, you know that the Texas energy grid is privatized. That's why they shit's always freezing and having rolling blackouts. Not saying states like California don't have rolling blackouts, but that's also because they have things like droughts and everything like that going on. I'm just an example, like for a couple of years ago when they had that deep freeze and a bunch of people died, and the Texas companies still backed up
they weren't prepared.
Well,
were they prepared? No.
Well, guess what? That's the problem. Is a lot of these private corporations, when you want to give a critical infrastructure into the hands of private entities, they tend to never be prepared. And that has
but if you can buy out your politicians, homie, it's not lobbying the state.
Respectfully, libertarian, that is a big proponent of a lot of libertarians is privatizing everything. You know it.
I don't disagree, but yet again, there is a spectrum of libertarianism that gets stigmatic, right? Nobody's all conservative. Nobody's all social. There are a variance, right? That's why they always ask you to take this smallest political quiz to see where you are on the spectrum, because it is an actual spectrum. I think libertarians get a bad reputation because strong leadership comes from those that want to comply with strong leadership. Yet again, self-security comes from the individual. I'm not crying to anybody to say, hey, come take care of me. Yet again, we know to take care of those that can't take care of themselves, right? That comes from charity, right? It doesn't have to necessarily come from the state. Yet again, we have 501c3s, right? That are veterans organizations that take hundreds of millions of dollars. And where does it go? To their infrastructure. It goes to their corporate entity as far as their board, their employees. That's where that money goes. It doesn't go down straight to the street. Now, yet again, how much money goes to homelessness? We have a war on poverty. We have a war on drugs. We have a war on everything. Yet again, we can't solve any problems. I don't hate Democrats. I don't hate Republicans. I'm libertarian because I understand that taking care of my community comes from me. It comes from my actions. It doesn't come from me grandstanding or gaslighting or virtue signaling. A lot of libertarians virtue signal. Don't get me wrong. I hate that shit. I'm not mad at it though. If you want to get an advocacy shit going across, I'm a mission-based person. Mission-based. When I was a 40-year-old man and I went to the Wisconsin Golden Gloves as a 40-year-old man, I didn't fight a 40-year-old man in the Masters division. I fought a 20-year-old man. I took home a silver medal. You can go to YouTube. I lost the fight. Yet again, it's the initiative that you want to take for an outcome. Where is the initiative for the outcome? My children are homeschooled. I take responsibility because I don't have grandparents. My mother died in 2003. My wife is an only child. There is only the responsibility on us to raise our children. Do we rely on the state? Absolutely fucking not. Did we take the state's charity when we absolutely need it? Yes, because we both paid into it when we were 16, and that's the security system that was supposed to be there to abide by that.
And this is where we disconnect, because you keep labeling it as charity and I label it as a basic role of government. And see, this is where, hold on. I'll let you rock, Libertarian. This is a big disconnect, because everything you said sounds good until we get to the crutch of how does it get implemented. And at the end of the day, you think the best way to implement it is by letting these private corporations implement it. I don't. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, but our government should be in charge of critical things like healthcare. They should be in charge of public education. Right? They should be in charge of our energy sector. These are national security things that the government should be in charge of, not private corporations. And so, Libertarian, respectfully, I'm glad you tried to make sure, hey, I'm not like other libertarians. But unfortunately, as a collective, it's a big freaking problem. By the way, Libertarian,
you mentioned the collective, though.
By the way, Libertarian, I was U.S. Army active duty, 8 years, joined the military 2006 to 2014, 2 deployments to Iraq. So I'm just saying, like, shout out to you, bro, fellow brothers in arms. Shout out to you, man.
Yeah, and there's no disagreement that in the factor that there is personal responsibility, right? Yeah. The government is not our security sector. I think that's where it's gotten wrong in civics. If we go back to civics, and I've read the Federalist Papers, I've read the Anti-Federalist Papers. I'm right now interviewing a person that's running for governor in Wisconsin on May, 15th or 16th? Her name's Francesca Wan. She's a Democratic Socialist. I have open discussions because I don't care about labels, titles, and categories. I care about solving problems. The more money you throw at 501c3s that don't go down to the street, I got a problem with it. The more spending, I got a problem with it when it does not hit the streets. And I'm a person that loves to hit the streets. Trust me, go look up GoFundMe, We the People in Poverty. I started that before COVID. People cannot get their minds behind something that has trust other than in the government. And that is a psychological issue that I have a problem with. And that's also, again, why I'm libertarian, because the psychological factor is that I am the producer. I'm a master diesel technician. I work in all the trades, HVAC, electrical, all of them, welding, CWI trained. I missed becoming a certified weld inspector by like 14 questions across 3 tests. The question of an individual is, how much work are you willing to put into yourself to produce an outcome that's positive, not only for yourself, but your community, and to be a producer, not a consumer. We get into these labels, titles, and categories, brother. And I hate that fact.
I'm all for picking up your bootstraps. I think it's really bad when you tell people with no boots to do it. Because at the end of the day, I'm all for individuals picking themselves up, Libertarian, but it's really hard for people to really, do it individually when the jobs you need to do it individually keep being sent overseas.
But where are the skill sets? Do we teach the skill sets that manage the monetary system? Do we teach the skill sets that actually produce outcomes of personal prosperity?
I think we teach. Now the skill sets are being taken up by AI, Libertarian.
There's not skill trades that are being taken up by AI, because I don't see a robot out of here building houses, bro.
It is, first and foremost, they're already working on that. Second, I know you're already educated and you've done your research enough to know you've seen all these programmers who put themselves out of the job creating AI. You've seen all of these, we'll say teleservices and healthcare services being taken over by AI and chatbots. They're only looking for better reasons. By the way, Lunatic, I don't know if you saw earlier, I played the video. They already got the robots out in real life, scaring off wildlife in the street. Again, like, it's not overnight. None of this is overnight, but it is happening. And so the more you try to eventually it will.
Yeah, but are you willing to comply?
Like Libertarian people who's making typewriters, right? Yeah, computers ain't gonna take us over. Well, they did eventually, right? Cars eventually took over the horse and buggy, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
but you're talking about insignificant industry, right? Travel. How long did it take for industry to actually get the airplane to operate for commercial use? You're talking almost like
how long
30
did it
years.
take AI to take the jobs over, Libertarian?
But yet again, the
A lot longer than
skilled trades, AI does not do this yet. It does not function with hands. Now, if
yes.
you want to get into robotics, but yet again, if you want to talk, and I'm going to tell you, I'm a master diesel technician. When people talk about automation and the truck driving industry, yet again, that technology does not work.
Oh,
The
I agree
infrastructure,
with you on that. I agree with you on that.
but as an MSSL quality control technician that actually check the wiring harnesses for most of the technology that uses it's even in the sprayers for agricultural equipment that uses Raven as a GPS technology. Look it up. It's through New Holland. That shit does not work, homie. It doesn't work. It relies on 1970s technology from radar. And if you talk about echolocation, which all of this stuff does, the J1939 SAE standard of automotive engineers, does not work because 90% of the technicians can't read a lab scope and they can't decipher the actual code that's going through each ECU. Now, if you want to talk about the technology, I will have an open discussion with you. I don't think AI is there just yet. We can't even give prompts to AI to reconcile a black person from a gorilla. Now, I didn't program AI. I'm just pointing out
respectfully.
basic facts. It's basic facts, bro.
What you're saying is things how it's maybe supposed to work. I'm telling you how it's currently working, because right now you also see the K-shaped economy and you also see the stock market still going up with all these AI companies. I mean, we literally just had Oracle lay off 30,000 people.
Yeah, the AI bubble's done.
No, what I'm saying, Libertarian, is you're trying to minimize it, but there's so many aspects where it's emerging. It's not overnight, but it is an emergence, right?
I'm not minimizing anything though, brother. I'm telling people that you don't need to rely on these systems. Be a producer. Produce your own food. Grow your own crops. Be community based. I'm not saying people shouldn't do that. I'm saying that if we rely on these so-called systems, right? So I just watched Good Luck, what is it? Have Fun, Don't Die. That movie will fuck your brain up as far as AI, because if you really want to translate it, it's everybody's living in a simulation. But yet again, AI cannot decipher unless it's prompted, depending on who programmed it, an outcome. Human beings can produce outcomes that are unpredictable, and they produce positive outcomes for society. I think that people have intrinsically become programmed by society because they watch Fox News and MSNBC. I always ask people, show me the legislation. Show me the actual first resource that started it all. Unless you can do that, I don't argue political pundits because it's just an opinion. Show me the legislation. Show me the real facts. I want to know the real truth. And I don't believe anything that's out here. Alex Jones 20 years ago said that chemtrails were real. Everybody said he was full of shit. They're forever lasting condensation trails until Dubai floods, which is a desert land. And then all of a sudden, the conspiracy theory from 23 years ago is also fact. Yet again, people that if you want to test your snow, if you want to go into what copper really does, if you want to go into Tartaria, I believe in taking information, assessing everything that is presented, and then deriving truth. I'm not taking anything at face value, whether it's Republican, Democrat, or anything.
Respectfully, Libertarian, I do too, but I'm also going to call the bad faith actors out, because guess what? There was a global cabal doing sex trafficking of pedophiles. The problem is nobody wanted to call it out because it ended up being their team. You know, Alex Jones also called that out too, right, Libertarian? And now look what he's on the wrong end of Trump. Hey, rock up here with me. I gotta read some of these comments real quick, man. They've been pushing through. Let's see. We got Javid. God, guys, I'm gonna be butchering y'all names. I'm really sorry. Why is it the UK, United Kingdom supporting them when 50,000 children and young people were killed in January in what is described as a genocide by the IRGC and the Islamic Republic? So first off, you know there's almost no evidence of the 50K number. And then on top of that, Javid, you know the incident in January, you know what our own people reported? That our CIA once again tried another fucking coup in Iran. And did you know that those so-called protesters, we armed them with weapons? So now some of them might not even be protesters. And when you actually look at the reporting from other, not Iran state media, but from other countries, it's still bad, but the numbers are more like 25, 3,000. But that's a lot different than 50K. And at the end of the day, United States of America, Javid, do you think we got any right to try to have moral authority over any other country right now? Like, come on, bro. Like, look how we treat our own citizens. And by the way, I reported this a couple of weeks ago, Javid. I broke it down and everything. Our own military, that was our Tomahawk missile that killed all those girls in Iran. That was our shit, bro. And so again, this idea of morality and everything like that, or trying to be like, you know, like trying to compare like body counts, like stop it. Larry 5 Griffs says 76 in Good Hope. Oh, he says home state's Wisconsin. Shout out to you, Fire Podcast. Yeah, Through the Fire Podcast. He's from Wisconsin. Shout out to you. Larry G, Goddamn Fantasy. Shout out to you. Anton, shout out to Enlisted in the Army, 95 to 06. Alexander, everyone is fleeing California. And yeah, guess what? There's people already moving back because there's pros and cons when you have no state tax. You can end up having higher property tax and higher car insurance and higher home insurance. And you got states like Florida who the insurance companies are fleeing because they don't want to cover all the hurricane damage that they're still backed up from 2-3 years ago. But I'm going to digress on that. Clear Capital, oh, my boy Tommy. Cali don't have a lot of rolling blackouts. I can't remember our last one. To be fair, Tommy, I might be rolling with a little bit of outdated data. I know that Cali was dealing with some rolling blackouts before. If you guys aren't dealing with that now, that's awesome. Let me know. Blackhawk, oh my God, Blackhawk, Black Proud says, what up, player? Yo, how you doing, man? Good seeing you. Gander, I work on AI in the industrial manufacturing. Bro, you gotta if you can, I know you probably rocking, but yeah, you definitely gotta tell us about that. They're printing Tommy, they're printing houses, 3D printing houses. Yep. I mean, and again, it's just a slow roll. It's a start. It's not overnight. It's progress. It's little bit here and there. That's how it works, guys. Nothing happens overnight. Gander, we have robot dogs for locating hotspots and other preventative maintenance measures. I mean, yeah. We already have aspects of autonomy. I mean, guys, think about how autonomous this Mavic 3 Pro drone is. I can put it in follow mode and it automatically can dodge obstacles and follow me and identify me and all of these different things. And while that's not necessarily, again, AI, it's an example of automation that they put into AI. These sort of command prompts and things like that. Guys, again, it's going to be slow rolled. Black Proud says, yep, right player. I'm a retired software developer. Tommy, Clear Capital, they already have a truck driving itself on the freeway in Houston. Now, this is what Libertarian was talking about. Yes, they have these pilot programs. A lot of them are shit right now. They're shit, Libertarian, right now. It's not stopping these companies from trying.
No, that's fine. But if you look up at Continental, right, who develops most of the ECUs for 5G, and they're part of the EU 5G network. Look them up. The Continental develops tires and ECUs in this country. About 90% of all heavy-duty trucks run Continental ECUs, regardless if it's in the chassis module, the after-treatment module, or the ECM, or engine control module, or the Bendix module, or the WAPCO module. It doesn't matter. Yet again, I'm not talking from an aspect that I don't know what I'm talking about, because if you look up Li-Fi or LED transfer of information through light waves, you'll understand where that technology comes from and where 5G is involved. Yet again, I'm not talking out of my butthole. This is shit everybody can look up, and it's actual facts.
Gander, Black Proud says, Libertarian, you're wrong. I think he was talking about our earlier convo. Gander, in the post AI and automation world, everyone becomes a mechanic. Jobs don't go away. They just move vertical. I partially agree, Gander, and here's why. Typically, when we're talking about jobs being lost overseas or being offshore, I hate the silver lining in this conversation, but at least we was talking about human capital being replaced by human capital. Yeah, it was cheap labor, but it was still human beings. Gander, we're talking about a scenario now where you're getting replaced by entities that don't need a smoke break. They don't need a bathroom break. They don't need healthcare coverage. They're not gonna be late to work because they're taking their kid to school, and because the bus ran late and they woke up late. You get what I mean? And so, yes, there's absolutely going to be demand for the eventual AI robots and mechanic. But guess what? That demand isn't going to replace the job displacement. That's still going to be a very niche thing compared to the overall labor market. Like, so for example, right now, yes, mechanics is the big thing, but because we're a hyper car dependent society, one of the jobs that probably are never going to be touched by AI, to Libertarian's point, is the guys who fix the cars, the body shop mechanics.
Well, what about maritime mechanics that actually run the diesel engine that runs all of the trade routes? Diesel engine technology is not going away. Generation of power through diesel engine technology is going away. And when I say that my job is foolproof, it literally runs the world. Like everything. Like diesel energy runs everything from power generation to maritime shipping lanes to whatever you want to, from on land shipping lanes. It doesn't matter. As far as technology is concerned, we are very far from the forefront that we've been broadcasted. And yet again, AI still can't handle simple prompts. And I've been messing with AI for about 5-6 months now, just to produce thumbnails and some other things. But the simpletonness of the programming is what baffles me, because I programmed robots to weld 1-inch plate in a gas tungsten or even a dual flux core arc welding system. So it's funny when we talk about the actual practices of technology versus what the actual theory is. So yet again, I don't see AI going out and welding pipelines. I don't see AI going out and do a bunch of things as far as the physical labor. And yet again, cooperation versus competition is always going to be the corruption that happens within the workforce of the populace. Is that we don't think that we can cooperate with each other because there's a hierarchy of superiority. And yet we all talk about this utopia, whether you're a socialist or a libertarian, of how we can all cooperate to make the society as equal and equitable as possible. But yet again, it depends on answering the question of everlasting human want, and where is the production of each citizen as it's been equated through the monetary system. And if you're a sovereign citizen or a Moore or anybody that actually looks into your ESN or your social security number or birth certificate number, we can go into those things as well. But yet again, it's understanding how systems operate is my basic premise.
I,
How do we make these systems operate for our benefit versus our detriment?
Prince Anton with the $2, ladies and gentlemen, your tax dollars at work. Yeah, and Libertarian, again, I understand your perspective, but when we're talking about theory versus practice, the people implementing AI don't care about either of that. They're still implementing it, even with the bad practice. And we have to remember the context of this country, specifically Libertarian. We swapped from a manufacturing base to a service base. So a lot of the jobs that AI is designed to take now is service-based, which is a hell of a lot easier than, obviously, as you've been saying, working with our hands. But since our economy is service-based, that's still detrimental. Tommy, what's going on, man? How you doing tonight, bro?
I will always ask you, how much are you willing to participate versus how much you are willing to circumvent? And to each individual, you're either a law-abiding citizen or you're a criminal, just depending on which standards you operate by.
Tommy, how you doing tonight, bro?
What's going on with y'all?
Good. How you doing?
Yeah, I partly agree with them, and then partly I kind of disagree with them as far as like with the autonomous stuff. Like he said, as far as like, you know, when you're dealing with jobs where, you know, this is involved, I think that's a longer ways away. But in truck driving, we had a position called we used to call it yard monkey or yard dog. It's the yard hustler. It's the ones that move the trailers around the yard, you know, moving from door to door. They already have that autonomous right now. It's not a mass, but it's already being done. Um, it's just like the Waymos. I don't think 10 years ago we would have thought Waymos were going to be like what they are now. If you go to San Francisco right now, it's literally full of Waymos. And to his point, they do freak out, they do jerk out. So I think in seeing that, it tells me that it's probably going to be a little bit for it to take over the trucks. But if you have Waymos out there right now and people are comfortable getting in those things with no problem right now, I don't think that truck driving is that far out.
It's
You
only
know
a
what I'm
matter of
saying?
time,
Now,
right, Tommy?
it's specific things in truck driving where like you have fuel delivery. I don't know how comfortable they're gonna be with, you know, those being autonomous because somebody get the hacking in there and you know that you basically, you know, can control a bomb. Um in certain things, but like even with Tesla right now, Teslas, so I used to haul cars. Tesla right now are trying to make it to where their cars literally load themselves onto the truck. You know what I'm saying? So, but you know, like because of that, I'm in school right now for HVAC. So something like HVAC, I don't see that becoming autonomous for a very long time. You know what I'm saying? So I agree with them. It's certain trades where it's gonna take a minute for them to actually, you know, be able to get robots to fully train and learn how to do them. But stuff like truck driving and stuff, I think we're a lot closer than we think. Because like I said, I don't think 5, 10 years ago we'd have thought Waymos would have been going around like they are now. And they're literally, if you go to San Francisco, literally damn near 1 in every 5 cars is a Waymo.
And Tommy, you and I, whether it's military, including libertarian, we're talking about logistics, obviously supply chain. That's going to be the toughest. But even with the jobs trying to go into that, it's not going to offset the job displacement. We still know that logistics wise with AI, that's still going to be a niche market.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I actually have
But
people that's in the school with me. You know, I was driving trucks for 15 years. Another guy here was driving for 20. And when I talked to him, he literally was in here for the exact same thing. He's like, you know, I want to beat it before it, you know, before I end up, you know, 55 years old trying to figure out what to do now because it's tough to get a job because, you know, they implemented this stuff. So,
Go ahead, libertarian.
well, what I tell people is that how many skills are you willing to learn, right? So I'm a diesel technician by my trade, and I was a CB as a construction mechanic. But yet again, that field offers HVAC. So I'm 608 and 609 EPA certified, which means I can handle trains, trailers, straight trucks, it doesn't matter. I can handle transport refrigeration, all the way up to high pressure ammonia systems. And like I said, CWI trained in welding. I also can program welding robots. I can weld and all processes, whether it's shielded metal arc, gas suction arc, gas metal arc. I mean, we can go on and on down the line. But yet again, it's how much are you willing to train yourself in the skill sets that makes your life prosperous? Are you willing to produce your own food? Are you willing to produce your own outcomes? That's the only thing that I ask of the American population. Why are we asking the government to do anything for us when the premise of the Constitution was to say that all men are created equal? Yet again, our forefathers didn't think it would happen in practice. They were predicting us to make a future for ourselves. Yet again, freedom of religion, not around the world. Freedom of speech, not around the world. Freedom of assembly, not around the world. If you are any kind of special forces, you have operated in centers that said that you were the outcome and you were going to produce the detriment to the individual, so you can make sure that you can implement other ideologies. Yet again, I'm just a person out here trying to make people prosperous for everybody. I don't care about labels, titles, and categories. I don't care about any of that. I don't care if you're right or left. I'm about human prosperity.
So
Yeah.
let's make sure, or this is going to be mainly me because I'm about to speak, but for everybody, we're going to keep this on like economic base, you know what I mean, with this. And so even when we're going back in history, Libertarian, the founding fathers, I actually agree with you. But you know what our Constitution and the politicians after that also did? You know what wasn't just figure it out by yourself? The multiple homestead acts that the government granted for free land as long as you could keep it. But that was government initiative.
And the subsidies to help them maintain that land.
Facts.
But yet again,
let's talk about
anarchy.
The GI Bill, Libertarian, the GI Bill, the VA home loan, right? And Libertarian, if you go look at every single one of our economic booms, it was all done. It was all based around increase in government spending.
Yeah, but you can also look at it as far as centralizing the monetary system as well, because they had a problem with banks creating their own notes depending on which region you operated in. So centralizing
yeah.
Correct. So we were talking about people that traded in silver. We were talking about people that traded in beaver pelts. We were talking about people that traded in turquoise. I mean, salt. Commodities and value versus yesteryear versus today are completely different. And I am not going to sit here and grandstand and say that those systems were absolutely perfect. I am saying in the time of reason, right, of fellow men that are informed, educated, have experience of wisdom through failure, would say that most of our systems in society are failed. And that's just based on reason, because we don't have common cooperation. Now, socialism talks about common cooperation. Communism talks about community and aspects of the state owning everything and then redistribution. I think that the human should produce what is needed for their human needs, and then their community, if they produce over an abundance, that can be redistributed depending on the charitable aspects of their own mind, because that's their choice. And yet again, human survival was said that, oh, well, I didn't take all my excesses and gave it to everybody. I stored and stocked them because I had to survive winter or this, that, or the other. Yet again, human experience is human experience. I grew up where I grew up. People grow up where they grow up. I know that my military experience is not the same as everybody else. I understand that the government as it stands right now, if I read the Constitution, is tyrannical. It's trying to tell me to do whatever it wants to tell me, and then saying that I have no recourse or repercussions for doing what I want. That is a problem according to the fundamentals of how I was raised. And I was born in 1983, and I grew up in the 80s where knowledge was power. I'm not raising my children to be subservient to anybody. And I'm sure that if we were to go down to the nitty gritty, fuck you, you're not going to tell me anything. And I guarantee you that 99% of people would agree with that because that's how they were raised. I think that humans need to cooperate with each other and stop destroying each other. And that goes on a human level across the world. And I think that central banks are part of the problem because the monetary system works perfectly to control the population. Because what are you after? The means of exchange. The means of exchange back in the day, what was up here and what you can produce through this. It's not through an entity called a promissory note with the Federal Reserve and
Wait,
it's got a
all of
president
those
on it.
Libertarian, all of those changes you talked about, as legitimate as they are, the one thing that has stayed a constant from the founding fathers to today is owning property. And the generational wealth that we still see families today benefit from those homestead acts. And at the end of the day, that government, that had to be a government program, because Libertarian, you know that in any generation, in any century, in any country, private businesses ain't going to hand out free land to people.
Yeah, but how many free people are going to go and say, hey, company, you don't own shit. I'm coming to take this. People are in compliance with control. And that's another thought process people
That's
need to
called a
reconsider.
social contract, Libertarian. We all have it. No. Respectfully, that is called a social contract, right? And by the way, one of the reasons we're struggling in this country is because we're you keep saying charity, and it's been breaking my brain, because I know that conservatives, and I know you're a libertarian, but I know when conservatives say charity, I hear trickle down economics. I hear, well, let's just hope the wealthy people are nice enough to give us their table scraps. And by the way, what have we seen? They get their taxes lowered, Libertarian, and they become less charitable. At least when they taxes was up, philanthropy was at its highest, because Libertarian, Tommy, you guys know the typical business owner. Man, if I got to drop 10,000, 100,000 a mil, and it's got to be, and I got to do it a tax write-off, I'm going to do it on a foundation that I control. At least I know how it's getting spent. Right. So now,
well, how do you think a redistribution of PAC money comes from?
You see the parks
from a foundation.
You see the art museums that are funded. You see all of those different things. But guess what, Libertarian? The taxes are being lowered, and you're seeing the charitable donations also being lowered, because now there's no incentive for them to give back to the communities. It's almost as if the social contract requires us to requires laws like that, Libertarian, because if you give human beings the ability to choose to do the right thing, they're not gonna do it.
Well, especially in the capitalist, society.
I think that's false, because you can look at all the compilation of money that's given, and people actually say that their taxes go to charity through government redistribution, and that's why they agreed to taxation. So I don't agree, but yet again, I'm not going to overtake the conversation. I'm just going to state my opinion. I don't agree, because most people are charitable, especially when they don't have money. I would agree that most people that build wealth through monetary systems would say that, well, why would I give it away? That's why I built it.
Right. So again, we all know human nature, and I think we're both, all three of us are grown enough to admit, obviously, we ain't gonna be writing extra money to the government for tax. Right? Bill Gates said it best. Look, if you want me to pay something, you better put it in the tax code. You get what I mean? But at the end of the day, Libertarian, we got billion-dollar corporations paying damn near zero in federal taxes. Right? And so again,
oh no, I understand.
But Libertarian, you keep speaking on how the system should work in a functioning society, but we don't live there. Right?
I've also said that all centralized systems are failed.
We live in a reality where the private corporations find every reason to not pay us. If they could bring back indentured servitude, they absolutely will.
But yet again, why are you participating? Why are you sending your children to school? Why are you participating? But no, but that's what you were programmed to believe, that, oh, society. But yet again, What happened when people said, I'm not going to take the vax? Oh, you're not going to go with the crowd. You are an anti this, that, and the other. If you don't abide by this centralized ideology, you are this, that, and the other, and then label, title, and category you. You don't have individual thought because of the collective that you keep bringing up, Warlock. I don't care about the collective. I was a part of a collective when I joined my platoon. I was a part of a collective when I joined my company. Yet again, we all wore the same uniforms. We all got the same distribution of food. We all got the same distribution of money, depending on your rank. So I'm not here to
I'm
say
about to say
that
that ain't
central,
true.
but yet again, depending on your experience, right? So if you were an E3 with 6 years versus an E3 with a year, your rank gratitude to your experience as far as years in service. Yet
Typical
again,
Union job,
but yet
basically.
again, there's no discrepancy there because the production that you created was for that experience. Okay, so where is the everlasting human want question going to get answered? Because everybody wants more. The equation of I just don't need transportation. I need a Bugatti or I need Nikes because shoes are a different. The programming of consumerism is a big part of the issue as well. Now, I don't believe in buying my shoes or any other my clothing from an outside entity. I should produce them myself. But I should also have the opportunity to be able to, turn wool. I should be able to have the opportunity to turn cotton into a thread. Yet again, but the skill and the labor that I'm willing to put into that endeavor to have an outcome is based on the individual. Most people, and this is where the argument comes in that most people don't want to work hard. But yet again, how hard are you willing to work for skill sets? Well, I don't need to be able to work on my own car. I got money. I'll pay somebody to do that. That's a mindset that's been programmed into the population. Now, I may be wrong according to the popular belief, but yet again, this is just my opinion, and I respect everybody's opinion.
Yeah. I disagree a lot with that. To be rugged individualism defeats the whole purpose of a country, defeats the whole purpose of a nation, defeats the whole purpose of trying to call anything a culture. Like, and this, before I read this super chat, Libertarian, I need to say this real quick. This is why I have a big problems with libertarians, because it's all about it's kind of selfish. Like it's me and screw everyone else, but that that's not who we should be, at least in my opinion. But I respect your opinion, Libertarian. Prince Anton, Anton again, $5. Shout out to you. Don't be surprised if Waymo is acquired by both Uber, Lyft within the next 5 years. Tommy, you know anything about that?
So he said Uber and Lyft. I don't know how both companies would acquire them, but yeah. So basically, what's being forecast is they think that Uber or Lyft might pick them up because Waymo needs basically needs the clientele that Uber and Lyft have. So basically, it'll be a big plus for both of them if one of them pick them up. So essentially, everybody's just sitting around waiting for that move to happen. It's pretty much predicted that either not but either Uber or Lyft are going to end up picking them up.
Here's my problem, guys, with this, and hopefully, I think hopefully all three of you guys, or hopefully both of you guys, can agree with me on this. I have a big problem with capitalism not having a leash on it, because we have what's called monopsonies, where we have a few corporations consolidating and doing exactly this, just acquiring, buying out corporations, literally removing the competition.
Yeah, and
I
they
have
do that through lobbying.
on that.
So elimination of competition is done through lobbying. So if I want a policy pushed, right, I'm going to line the pockets of the politicians, get my policy pushed, just like pharmaceutical companies have a monopoly on the war on drugs, right? This is a perfect example. I monopolized as Pfizer or one of the big three, they say, right? That I am the only entity that can import this commodity. But yet again, illicitly, It happens every single day. But yet again, taxation comes through either your time or your monetary value as far as your participation in circumventing whatever laws are implemented against you being an entrepreneur, but we are programmed that you're a criminal according to the legislation. I don't believe in the war on drugs. I believe that medicine is something that comes from the earth. It is not produced through a petropharmaceutical. And I believe that Freudian psychology is nonsense. I think that you should follow Carl Jung as far as psychologies. But yet again, if you go into the history of socialism and how it came through the French Revolution and everything else with Maoism, the Vietnam War, and everything else, you'll understand that most of this libertarian versus socialism is pretty much the same. It's just not centralized. That is the only difference between the community-based outcomes versus a centralized government redistribution production outcomes. Now, not every human produces the same outcomes. That's why we have competition. Okay, is to say that, yeah, well, if I am more valuable to my community because I am more productive, that makes me more valuable to my community. But yet again, we have degraded this ideology in order to accommodate a monetary system in which the central bank says that this promissory note gets you the means of exchange of goods and services. So yet again, where is your value dependent on the individual? Now, when we talk about collectivism, I am all about humans coming together for productive outcomes. But yet again, the monetary system's based off of something, what is it, 12 or 13 people came out in Jekyll Island to say, hey, we're going to have a central bank and we're going to control it all. Rockefeller came in, got rid of everybody that was a holistic healer, said that you're going to abide by this. We got rid of doulas, we got rid of this, and now everybody is a part of this quote unquote healthcare system that's only symptoms management. We have to go to the original source of the issue as the people, decipher what is the is going to solve the problem for the collective, and not have a hierarchy of who is more important to get it. Yet again, I have a big problem with what's happening in Iran. I have a big problem with Israel. I have a big problem with foreign policy. I have a big problem with a bunch of things that are happening in this country. But yet again, we always got to get back to the origin of the issue. And I have no problem troubleshooting that. And I'm not going to denigrate or call somebody an idiot or blah, 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 because they want to say, oh, I'm a Democrat, when I want to call you a Democrat, and you're a Republican. I want to call you a fucking reptilian. It's like, are we 12 or are we grown people? Are we going to solve the problems of the population, or are we going to continue to say, hey, my ideas are better than yours just because we can't agree?
Tommy, what do you think about these mergers?
I think it's just I think it's I guess you would call it the negative side of capitalism, and especially, in a country like ours, it's so materialistic, like he was saying before, and instead of me driving a Toyota, I got to have a Bugatti. I tell people all the time, there's a reason why Lexus didn't exist in Japan for a long time, because they wasn't stupid enough to go buy the same car that had an L on it for $30,000 more, so the way this society is built, it's built on straight greed. I'd never have enough. And as long as you have that, you're gonna have this type of stuff. And even going back to what you were saying before, as far as like them giving back, I had a company I worked for. They sold, and I believe they profited $300 or $400 million. Mind you, it was only 300. I think I counted like 300 employees. We got a $25 Amazon card for Christmas. So,
That's
that's America. And a nice thank you, because you guys are the reason why this happened, and yada yada yada. So here's $25 for Amazon. So
But didn't nobody roll up on the CEO? Didn't nobody roll up on the CEO? Didn't nobody roll up on the board? Didn't nobody roll up on anybody and hold them accountable? And
well,
that's the
no,
thing
because
that I have a
I'm gonna be
problem with.
100 with you. If they were to give us more than that, that would be on them. You can't go and go, hey, because it wasn't owed to us. But
libertarian. What Tommy
yeah.
just talked about is that charity you talking about.
And this is what's weird, is it seems like the least amount of money you have, the more charitable you actually are.
Mhm.
Because everybody that's
I
like
said
on our
that.
level in our head, like I just did a quick calculation. I'm like, damn, they would have gave us $10,000 a piece. That literally only been $3 million out of 300 million, which would have literally, in our case, I'm not gonna say changed our lives, but it would have made life a hell of a lot easier.
That would have
You know, it,
definitely
it would
helped
have
a lot of shit, bro.
exactly. You know what I'm saying? So
Yup.
something just that simple, But then, you do have situations where you have, I believe, like Kim Kardashian with her Skims situation when they got bought out. She went through and she, gave them a nice little bag. You got the Taylor Swift situation at the end of her tour. She gave out big bonus checks to, everybody. So you do have instances where people do, but I think for the most part, this country is so consumed with greed and so consumed with I want my number to be higher than this person's, and because after you have so much money, after a while, it's just a number, bro. It's just literally just a number. So now you're just fighting for status because it's not for more money. You
And then
can't
they
do
and then the
anything with money.
wealthy find dumb shit to try to spend their money on.
Well, right.
Exactly.
So, what's a true stat, though? And I'm going to ask this very genuinely. What's a true stat? You want the free right to travel. You want the free right to be able to see the world. You want the free right to be able to hang out with your children when you feel that it's necessary, right? You want the right to not be strapped to a 9 to 5, right? These are all systems that were created less 100 years ago, and we all abide by it because it became comfortable. But now it ain't so fucking comfortable, is it? How many
because
people gonna
what
stand
wasn't
up
it Ford
and put?
that started the 9 to 5 situation?
Well, Ford actually started the 9 to 5, and then they instituted the coffee break. But Ford, if you look at Henry Ford, right? Henry Ford actually wanted to poison Rockefeller at a dinner because he understood how much of a piece of shit he was. And Ford created a hemp vehicle that
Ford
ran on
wasn't a
hemp
great thing either.
fuel.
That's how bad Rockefeller was. You know what
And
I
and,
mean?
and Rockefeller changed our medical institution, our education systems.
Yeah.
Like literally, this dude bought out everything and said Amco Oil, and then it was like, oh, monopolizing. Oh, well, now we need to have American Oil and Standard Oil. Well, now we need to break it down to another 5 years. But what happened 60 years later? They all reconsolidated. Look at AT&T, which used to be Bell Company, which was every state's telephone company: Wisconsin Bell, Illinois Bell, uh,
We had
DC
Pac
Bell.
Bell, Pacific Bell
Right,
over here. Yeah.
right. And then it got separated, and you had Sprint, Net, Verizon, and all these other. And what happened? It all got reconsolidated. Now AT&T owns T-Mobile and Spectrum and this and that. So are we going to keep going on with the facade of bullshit, or are we going to stand up and be like, man, I ain't participating in this shit no more? And that's my whole
Well,
thing. Is
I
like,
mean,
That's the problem, Libertarian. Unfortunately, again, people don't have a choice, man.
yeah.
Because
I ask people, what are you afraid of?
Well, but even if
Because
you look at it, it's like
those
with foreign affairs, though, if you look at,
said,
say like
but Benjamin
Gaddafi,
Franklin said it. Those that want security but would give up their freedom and liberty don't deserve it either. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, how much are we going to stand up? Do you remember when the World War II veterans came and stood at the Capitol and they were destroyed by National Guardsmen because they wanted their benefits for fighting for this country?
yeah,
The Forgotten Army is something that people don't talk about. These people, that was the very first insurrection, and that was a real insurrection because they showed up with rifles and they got met with rifles, and then people were actually gunned down. I forget, it was like 200 people that actually died on the Capitol that day.
the fact is, there's countries, there's no perfect country out there, but there's countries that are functioning quite well with their social contract.
well,
Right?
and
There's countries out there that are figuring out a way to work as a collective and take care of the collective. And because of our hyper materialistic society, we go out of our way to make it way more difficult than it has to be.
that's what irks
In
me
my
with
opinion.
when you talk to people in this country is people act like this is the only country in the world you can live a decent life in, and it's like,
Right.
bro, it's people living in other countries living perfectly fucking fine.
I've
You
been
know,
around the world. I'm not denying that. I
yeah.
lived in
No,
Sicily
I'm
where
not
they
saying you
had
in general. I'm just
Raposo.
saying when I hear
No,
people in
I'm
general
just saying
talk,
that I
a lot of
understand the
people act like
nuance.
that.
No,
Yeah,
I understand the nuance. You know, we're all veterans. I understand the nuance. Is that I've been overseas. I've seen how different cultures operate. I've been around the world. These most of the people in the country haven't seen that opportunity. They haven't
Yeah,
experienced it. They have no wisdom in it. They haven't gone
yeah.
around their own 6 blocks their whole entire
So
lives.
And that's what
they only understand the propaganda that we push out. Only in
that's why I
America.
say
Correct.
tune into
Yeah.
this show and watch us because we're gonna let them know, even rudely if we have to. Let's
But
see.
no, I was gonna say,
Oh yeah, go ahead.
we're kind of stuck in it too, because even if you look at our international affairs, anybody that challenges us, you know, we put a smear campaign on them and we smoke them. You look at Gaddafi; he went to, you know, unite the African nations and create their. Oh no, 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 no! You can't do that.
Yeah.
Oh, he does this. He does this. Boom, he's gone. You know, anybody that decides that they want to try to get their shit together in another country and it threatens our way of life, you know, even the Iran
Unless they have
situation,
nukes.
you know, with them not wanting to, you know, trade their oil in American dollars and stuff. Oh no, we can't have that. Oh no,
What's
you
the
know.
meaning of security? What's the meaning of security? We live by this false premise of security that it comes from the government. No, it comes from each other. And that's the thing that I try and promote is like collectivism says that the community understands what each other needs and then they provide. That is something that where somebody in our community, right? I came from Milwaukee. If somebody had more than me, shit, I'm coming to take that shit. I'm coming to get your shit. You ain't gonna be higher than me. Who the fuck are you? Like that's the street. And that's some real shit. People come after you because you just doing better than them
Well,
because, well, I'm losing. You know, I'm not meeting the
and
standard that I see on the internet. Like, what the fuck is in the
but this
people's
is why I
minds?
explain to everybody when they talk all of this shit about the streets, and I say, bro, the streets don't do nothing but they copy America. Everything that happens in the street is what America does. I mean, to the T. You know, I had a discussion on Headpan the other day. I mean, or in the Discord. And I told her, bro, gang banging ain't nothing but America. That's all. That's what we're doing in Iran right now. We're gang banging in Iran right now.
Turf war, straight up shit.
That's it.
Yep. Michelle Patino talking to Gander, looking to the 2030 agenda they have planned for us, brother. They literally say to our faces, you will own nothing and be happy. Yeah, guys, this coincides with, as y'all see, the what they call it, the right to repair shit that we're dealing with, such as John Deere, the people who buy the tractors not being able to repair their own shit. They got to go to a technician that charges like $350 just to look at it. Like it's shit's crazy, guys.
Dad had
And
a
there's not enough technicians to actually meet the demand. There's
Exactly.
not enough skilled technicians that even if you scan it, there's not enough technicians that can read the information and interpret it because they don't have it up here. Like I'm in the trades and I look at people every single day and be like, bro, you don't even know what the fuck you're looking at, let alone can you repair it. But yet again, this is a $1.5 million piece of equipment that still has payments on it and is still under warranty. But yet again, we circumvent all the technology and say, whoa, hey, man, this person shouldn't download this program from China, even though it keeps them productive so that I get my soybeans. And those soybeans don't even go for human consumption. Out of the, 1.9 billion acres of land that is used in the United States, maybe 80 million acres is used for human consumption. Like, I don't come at these problems sideways. If you want to talk about legislation, if you want to talk about real facts, I come with it. I am educated fully and informed of what's happening in these systems.
Just
The
to remind
control systems work.
just to remind the audience, guys, we literally have so many farms that are paid to not grow certain crops.
They plow fresh crops under the ground to keep commodity prices at a certain level. Look at the big, beautiful bill. You can look at what the price of corn is in 2028. It's not even produced yet, but you can look at the price of it when it. And yet again, the farmer might have, I don't know, $3.5 million worth of liens on his land just to make the payments to pay his workers, control his maintenance costs, and buy the equipment he needs to create the production off that land. And people don't understand where their food comes from. I always tell people, produce your own outcomes, produce your own food, produce everything for yourself. But yet again, collectivism says that the radical individual is fucking it up for everybody else. But yet again, where is the solution? We need to get back to production from the individual outcome, because the individual family produces children. Those children that are educated and are wise through the systems that actually control their lives, not what the education system tells them. Hey, what is, this irrelevant fucking fact from a fictional history that I want you to regurgitate me to take a test, versus, hey, do you actually know what actually happens in life when you do X, Y, and Z? Functional skill sets, tangible skill sets is something that I talk about. But yet again, we want the luxurious lifestyle of abundance and convenience, even though it's going to kill you, because we're going to pump you full of glyphosate and sugar. And then we're going to say, hey, get this diabetic drug and go to these doctors, inject your children with these poisons. Make sure you give birth on your back. That's not natural, even though you should be squatting. Again,
yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
I have 2 naturally born children, no human interventions. I left the hospital within 12 hours with both of them.
J5 Productions released the Swalwell files. Oh God, I wanted to talk about that briefly, but I wanted to talk about that earlier, but just briefly, guys. Eric Swalwell had to drop his governor bid, and he's resigned from Congress. Good, because he is a fucking scumbag sexual assaulter. Tommy, have you heard any?
Another politician that likes hookers. What's new? Have we not seen The Distinguished Gentleman with Eddie Murphy? Like, come on now. Like, I'm Jack Johnson. Like, are we gonna watch the same fucking movie over and over again? Come on.
Yeah, so we got that. We got 2 congressmen who have resigned at the same time. The other one, the Republican dude from Texas, who that woman is, that the one that set herself on fire or something crazy?
It just reminds me of the situation when Bill Clinton went down and all these Republicans was all high and mighty, and then next 2 or 3 of them go down for doing the same thing. If you know you're doing it, shut the fuck up. It's that simple. Like,
I'm going to be very plain and simple. I think that every politician and every bureaucrat that has sustained themselves through 30 or 40 years of public service, yeah, I think that the Rose Garden is a perfect place to hang them or to put them under the guillotine, because either you're going to kneel and beg for forgiveness or you'll stand with your convictions.
Yeah, like, we give these politicians, the softest life imaginable to be the leaders of our country. At least just pretend to be professional. And
they're not supposed to be leaders. They're supposed to be servant representatives. That is another
servants
mind fuck.
Yeah, but
that's the problem.
Instead,
what they say, absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yep. Eaton Mayers help the AI sector to make it possible for disabled people can
You
stand.
got a troll in the chat too, Tarus.
What'd you say, Tommy?
You got a troll in the chat. Just last person that this match where they going off.
Let's see. Just say Trump is leading me, sailor.
Man, all kind of weird shit.
But yeah, the disabled people can stand for, the microchips and all that. That's cool. The problem is, these corporations gonna make you pay an affirm payment. So watch out.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see. We got Greta. Shout out Black Hawk, Greta Logan, Fuzz Tooth. That's capitalism. Yep. Gary. That's the way it goes. Unfortunately, Anton. Even when colonizers have everything, they'll find a way to say they don't have enough. Oh yeah. Unfortunately. Yeah. The match 2 path. Jesus Christ. Anyway, guys, I
gotta get out of here, brother. The last thing I'm gonna say is that
go ahead, Libertarian, your final thoughts, because we're about to shut it down right now.
All right. My final thoughts is that if you think that security systems exist by society, you're absolutely wrong. Create your own security systems. Produce your own outcomes. Stop asking everybody to produce for you, because reliance on the person to your left or to your right is only going to rely on the security systems that they have built up here. Now, remember, Society exists because we all want to prosper, regardless of label, titles, or category. I don't care if you're white, black, Jewish, Hindu, Muslim. I don't give a shit. The thing is that if you're willing to produce an outcome that's positive for everybody, I'm with it. I'm fucking with it. And for everybody in government, just remember the people are the one that run this country. Don't forget that. And we're coming for you, especially if you're on the Epstein list.
Hey, Libertarian, thanks for rocking. Nice to meet you, by the way. Thanks for rocking with me all night, man. It was really good. Hope to see you next time, man. Peace. Tommy, thanks for coming up, man. What you got for us?
Oh, it's a dope show. I mean, I would say I hope people are listening, but I don't know how much that's gonna do because I mean, at this point, I don't know how much it's gonna change. To be honest with you, it's just kind of riding with the shit show. You know, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm so waiting for all of these Christians for Trump to come out and say something about this picture. They have been quiet as hell. No, I won't say that because there have been some in the comments that didn't like that, but as many as I heard, they tucking their tail right now. And that picture was, and then to delete it and then double back with another picture, like he is a wild boy. This, I keep telling people, man, it just feels like we living in a cartoon, man. It's just, you can't make this shit. If I sat down and wrote this out, people would look at me and say, "You're fucking lying. This would never happen." And it's actually happening. This shit is insane. But now, have a good night, though, man. I enjoyed the show.
Tommy, thanks for coming up, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, guys, this what Trump is doing is insane. And again, guys, I know they're trying to tee up the whole, you know, he's mentally out, 25th Amendment. Guys, go and watch the video of him answering that question live when it asked about that AI image. He knows, he's there when he's trolling, when he's doing that Trump the Truth Social post. Guys, he's all there. And he knows he was on some bullshit. And you know he was all there because he, like Tommy just said, guys, he doubled down on it. You know what I mean? Real quick before I get in my final thoughts, Match from Twitch, yo, shout out to you, man. Yeah, it's very concerning. LaDana Marshall, hope I got that right. It's all entertainment. Unfortunately, it's no longer funny. This is affecting real life. Not me. He just lies his ass off all the time. Yeah. Going out there. And guys, these are my final thoughts. What do you stand for? Are your beliefs, do they have a price point? Do they have a price tag? Your virtues, what you say you won't tolerate. Would you tolerate that, say, if, I don't know, $270 million from Elon came into your bank account or got into your bank account? Would you do that if that's, say, something you had information you didn't want to get out about you, so you're willing to tolerate some shit? What are your virtues actually worth? If you call yourself a Christian, God gave you guys 10 commandments. There's a bunch of commandments, but God gave y'all 10. 10, so you guys be like, look, you guys follow these 10, you're going to be pretty good. Never mind the fact that most of you guys can't even do that. But Donald Trump, that you put your faith in, he doesn't do any of them. Do you guys, do you really think he even believes in God? Or does he believe in himself? And that's what I really want MAGA, like, come to terms with the fact that you voted for a guy who cares about himself to a fault. He's willing to burn everything down. You get what I mean? And so, guys, I just hope you know, I see you in the chat, Match. I just hope you know, like, yeah, some of this stuff, it feels inevitable. Some of this feels like It's out of control. But I'm going to come up here and yap my ass off about it anyway, because I rather get it off my chest than hold it in and pretend like nothing's happening, bro. Like, I don't care if all I'm doing is yapping and being emotional. Guess what? You guys are on this journey with me, and we can just air this shit out and say whatever it is we got to say together. And so those are my everything I got for you guys. Thanks for rocking out with me. Love the energy in the chat. I love how we go back and forth with each other, guys. That's exactly what we should be doing, because I love you guys. You know what I mean? So you guys have a great night. See you next week. Peace.